Hi everyone, welcome to Film Log Update number 25, covering most of the films I watched or rewatched during November and December last year, so 2023, and we are back once again. Very informal video here, just simply laptop in front of me, going through my log for these months, and most of the films that I want to mention, just not every single film that I watched and stuff, including shorts and all this, but just the films I want to talk about that I've been watching recently, and as well, the favourite first watch of November and December will be featured, and also the entire year. So just for me, obviously, 2023, the entire watching, of that year, not necessarily a film from that year. That's what I always do at the end of the year as well. Obviously, January now, and towards the end of January. So yeah, what did you watch recently? It'd be great to hear your thoughts on these films, and also what you've been watching. Obviously, even January, because we are, as I say, towards the end of it now. What have you been, kind of watching, and share your thoughts, and what are some of your favourites as well from this time. So yes, we'll start off with Unstoppable. This is a film. 1st of November, I watched this. Denzel Washington, of course, and it's a film that I had on Blu-ray for about since I think 2015. So it's just a film that I never actually got around to. It was just sitting, not even on display actually. It was one of the ones that I had just picked up. I didn't buy new, and just I had at the side, kind of thing, and was wanted to see it for a time, for quite some time, obviously, and finally saw this, and it was an okay film. It was an enjoyable one to see. Denzel Washington was very enjoyable in this, and Chris Pine as well, very enjoyable. It's a film that doesn't really do too much for me, and there's some good characters here, some good performances, but it kind of is quite drawn out for me, and quite basic. And it's obviously a premise that could have been, and just for me it was. But it was a fine film to see. It starts off I think better than it ended for the most part. Although there are some things that pick up, in the investment, but generally it is just one that kind of loses me as it goes on, more or less. But it's an okay film. I'd recommend seeing it if you've not already seen it. Then we have Eastern Promises. So David Cronenberg. Now this is the one again I saw on Blu-ray, and had wanted to see this for some time. I saw A History of Violence a few years now actually. It was a long time ago now. 2020 I think I saw that, and I absolutely love that film. These two films, I was always interested to see how they would compare, and personally I do prefer A History of Violence. Just for my liking. But Eastern Promises was a very, very good film, and greatness in there, performances, the atmosphere, and just some of the scenes in this really are quite stunning, and just constantly investing from the get-go, and very gritty. Vincent Cassel once again, just great, and it's a very disturbing film, this one, quite a gritty, grimy film at times, but yes. Overall, Eastern Promises, certainly one that I recommend seeing, and I did really, really like this film overall. Then we have Talk to Me, a horror comedy that came out very recently, and it's one that I'd heard about, and I saw it, and yeah, it's a good film. Certainly interesting ideas, quite a unique approach, and certainly at first, I was quite invested in this film, and yeah, overall it's a good film. I didn't love it, but a lot of very commendable, aspects of filmmaking, and interesting script at times, and some good performances in there as well. So Talk to Me, certainly a good, solid film, and it's one that I enjoyed seeing. So yes. Then we have Kramer versus Kramer. Rewatching this because I saw this, when I was a kid. It's a one that I didn't, I guess, come back to. It's not one that I was always. I did enjoy watching it when I saw it as a kid, but it wasn't obviously one that was more geared for a kid like me. So now seeing it, I appreciate it more, obviously, and now I do actually love the film so much. This is a 5-star film from me actually. Close to being the full mark. Kind of scoring there, absolutely stunning. Obviously, Meryl Streep and Dustin Hoffman. Wow, just stunning performances, and this is just consistently 100% investing from start to finish, and it's a very emotional film, but it is quite hopeful as well, in this, and not one that I guess as a small kid really I fully appreciated, but coming back to it now, absolutely stunning film, and certainly one of the best films that I've seen, kind of recently, in general. So yes, then we have Annie Hall. Kramer versus Kramer was definitely for me better than Annie Hall. I wasn't big on Annie Hall. Finally seeing this film, it's a very very loved film. But going in, I didn't think I necessarily would love this. It's not. I knew the premise. And I thought we'll see. There's certain films like this, that I've watched over the years that I kind of think they're not necessarily, geared for me, kind of thing. I guess back 10 years ago or more, when I had this on my watch list for the first time, and I was kind of checking different films out from different lists and all this. I guess, I thought this was obviously be a film that I loved, but not seeing it now. Certainly, it was a good film, but I didn't love this one, and I don't know. I think it's the style. It's just too meandering, too kind of rambling. Just the tone and the atmosphere, and just the kind of the viewpoints in the film. Not really. They're a bit too cynical for me. That's I think one of the things which. Again, it's obviously just a personal taste thing in that sense, and also just though, I think it started out much better than it went on for me the way it was presented. This film, but yeah, it's a good film, but not one of my favourites personally. For respect, The Brood, a Cronenberg film that I didn't like personally. This is, there's some Cronenbergs I absolutely love. The Fly, Videodrome, obviously History of Violence. We've gone through those, but yes. This and Scanners as well, I wasn't big on. The Brood, it's just a film, it had some interesting moments, but overall it's just not one that I was invested in really as a piece. There we go, not much to say. A Quiet Place Part 2, I saw the first one, a long time ago now, for the first time. It was 2021, I think. Yes. Finally seeing this one, not as good as the first. It was okay. It was, it's a fine film. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but it was just quite basic for me, and just kind of a bit flat. If you like, dramatically, I didn't really get too much from this. Certainly, I do prefer the first one, which I didn't love, but I thought it was definitely more investing and just more, more in the way of relationships, characters, and just it was more of a vibrant film for me personally. But it was okay. So there we have The Killer, of course. Yes, a David Fincher film. This is one that's quite divisive. I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay. It was good. A good solid film actually. One of the, especially in some of the films I've seen. Of 2023 actually, that are more ones that I thought I would like more. It was a fun film. Quite simple. And not much going on really. Than at first, but it's a one that kind of unravels, and some really good performances in there as well. So it's not much to say there. The Killer, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This was very disappointing for me. It was fine. It was good. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I loved. I thought it was close to great, and obviously the first one is one of my favourite superhero films ever made. So this did not live up to those films for me. It was very disappointing. Quite a bit of a slog at times, and quite forgettable. So obviously it done some really good things. And obviously I'm giving it a good score. So I did enjoy the film, but it's just it's very underwhelming once again from the MCU's. So there we go. The Equalizer, the first one, another Denzel Washington film. This was better than Unstoppable. I did enjoy this one quite a bit. The Equalizer. Just some really good action in there. Some very good script. Moments as well. Screenwriting and just I think Denzel Washington. He really captured. This character so well, and obviously we can see why. There's the sequels out. I look forward to seeing them as well. So obviously the third one just coming out. I'll be going through those films. Quite soon as well. I look forward to that. But yes, the first one. Really enjoyed this one quite a bit actually. Action thriller, of course. King of Thieves with Michael Caine. Now this is, I didn't, I didn't think this was a bad film, but it was just very, very basic. It was a bit too, not much going on really, but it has some hilarious moments, some enjoyable kind of campy moments with this camaraderie, of course, and I just think though, Charlie Cox, Michael Caine together, it was quite enjoyable, but there's one of the lines in the film is really hilarious, actually, and describing a flawless diamond. So yeah, if you've not seen the film, look forward to that. But yeah, no, it was just underwhelming, mediocre, I would say, with some interesting elements, but overall, it's more just kind of laughing at the film, than really being invested in it. So yes, King of Thieves. Next up, though, a stark contrast: The Pursuit of Happiness. Will Smith, Jaden Smith, a film, of course. Very, very famous. Had been meaning to see this for a long, long time, and yeah, it was absolutely stunning. This one, really, really loved it. I think just one that I was fully invested in, and the ending came so quickly, and I thought, wow, it's already over. Not to say that the ending is a cut-off one, but just I was so wrapped up in it, that I kind of I lost track of time. It's one of those. So yeah, it was just but what a narrative. Very, very inspiring film, and yeah, I loved the performances and the atmosphere to this. So yes, some really inspiring moments in this film. So yes, then we have Trance, Danny Boyle film. Wasn't for me. It just simply wasn't for me. It's a bit of a misfire, but you can't love them all. And Danny Boyle usually, I do love his films or like them. But yes, Trance, James McAvoy was really good in this. But just it didn't really work for me as a film. But yes, The Whale, Darren Aronofsky, of course, Brendan Fraser, having this very different role to his previous, let's just say, roles back in the day of me watching the Mummy films and all this, George of the Jungle. The Whale, a great performance from Brendan Fraser. I think this is a good film. It's a very divisive one. Some people are not big on it. I think it's a good film with some really, really good stuff in there. As I say, the performances, some moments in the script as well. But it was just a bit too unpleasant, a bit too. It didn't have the hope that I would have connected to consistently in the film. Like different Darren Aronofsky films that I've seen, I just think this was a very different one for him, different approach. It wasn't one that I personally loved, but I do commend the film, and I do think it's a good film with some greatness in there as well. So yes, The Whale, seeing that. Rewatching Infinity War, absolutely love this film. Talked about this before, obviously. As going through the tail end of the first few phases of the MCU, very slowly. But yes, and Infinity War, is just one of my absolute favourites in the MCU. Then we have Drive. Rewatching that, I've talked about Drive many times on the channel. An absolute masterpiece, one of the best. Modern films that I've seen, and always love rewatching this. So yes, Drive, Darkest Hour, obviously Gary Oldman playing Churchill. This was one that I was looking forward to, and it was fine. I think it could have been more. This one, it could have been. It's just one of those interesting kind of how what they cover and what they choose to show. It just wasn't quite enough. I was really wanted to see more, I guess. Of Churchill and different things. Events and just. It was a fine film, but it wasn't one that kind of really went the extra mile for me personally. But some good production as well. And great performance from Gary Oldman. So yes, it was one that I did enjoy though seeing. Definitely. Then we have The 400 Blows, Francois Truffaut. This is a film that I've been hearing about for many, many years, and yes, I did enjoy this one. Certainly did, and it's just. Yeah, it was again, it wasn't a film that I loved, but it had some nostalgic elements, and as well as some really, kind of unique, inspiring filmmaking aspects to this. I do commend Truffaut for just shooting this and presenting it in a very unique way. So yes, that was the 400 Blows. Definitely one that I enjoyed for the first time. And after that, seeing La Haine. This is a film that I had heard about for many years. Vincent Cassel, an earlier role for him, and this was a very good film. It's very just raw, and there was a lot of energy in this. It's certainly a film that I did really like. Again, very gritty, very dark. This one, but yeah, it was a very commendable film. I was very invested in this, and it just had a lot of really good moments throughout. And yes, by the end of it, it's definitely one that I was surprised by the way it ended. But just nevertheless, it was definitely a very good film. And yes, it was very interesting to see this for the first time. Then we have As Good as It Gets, Jack Nicholson film that I'd never actually seen for some reason. I'd never seen this, and I thought, I wonder what this would be like, and I saw this, and it was a very uplifting film. For the most part, quite dark at times, and quite shocking. But yes, overall, I did love this film. The performances, the script, and just the overall the journey that went on was very inspiring at times, and it was a one that just did uplift me in some way. So yes, Good as It Gets, of course. Harold and Maude, another one that I'd heard about for many years. Finally seeing this, and this was very good film. This very unique and strange at times. This film, even just the way it opens, is very different. But yes, I did really enjoy this one. The performances, the chemistry. It's just a very it's quite an inspiring film once again. I would say, and some interesting moments in the narrative, and I think the way the music is used as well. Really great stuff, and kind of a road trip film that isn't always a road trip film, but it's kind of that's the main kind of drive for this. Just these two characters as well. Kind of meeting and having this relationship, and it's just it's not too long. This film is quite, but it did it covered a lot of themes, and it was quite the journey. So yes, Harold and Maude, finally seeing that. All or Nothing, rewatching this Mike Leigh, which I do personally love, and count as one of the best Mike Leigh films. Then we'll go through some of these. Karen Columbus reviewed that film. Really did not like that one. Obviously, you can check out my review for that. Then we have Game Night. This was it came at the right time in my week, where I was looking back the other day, just fond memories of Game Night, seeing this at the end of November, and just a very soothing film, a very peaceful one for some reason. Just the neighbourhoods and the kind of the tone that I was getting, and just the enjoyability of these characters. Jesse Plemons always, really. He just ticks the boxes for me, as someone who, is just such a great actor, and always entertaining and just warm presence. So it was just a really nice film. This quite hilarious at times, and very good comedy. So comedy thriller with some twists in there. So yes, highly recommend Game Night. It's quite a special film in places for me. So yes, then we have Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. A film that I did watch quite a few times as a kid, and yes, it's a good film. It's not a great one for me personally, but the performances, Kevin Costner, Morgan Freeman, Alan Rickman, just having a great time there, in this film as the villain, of course. And just not my favourite Robin Hood film, but I guess it's one that I have fond memories of, and I do enjoy this one quite a bit. So. Yeah, we have that. The Christmas Chronicles, of course. This is the 1st of December that I watched this, and it's a fine film. I feel, and Kurt Russell is very good in this. It's kind of a cringy film at times. I will say that. It's a bit cringy, a bit sickly, really, in places. But overall, it's a fine family film, a Christmas film to see, and I did enjoy it. Some good elements in there, and. It was a nice one to see on the 1st of December. Then we have The Running Man with Arnie. This is just a bit of a no-go for me. I didn't enjoy this one at all actually, and you know, it was a one that, you know, just didn't work for me. You know, it really didn't. Some elements, you know, with the score and all this and the 80s vibe, but overall that wasn't enough. You know, I didn't. I wasn't invested in this one personally. But then we have a very, very special film here. Spielberg, of course, one of my favourite filmmakers, right at the top there, close to the top, obviously with Kubrick and The Fabelmans coming out recently. This film really surprised me. I had high expectations, but even then it blew me away. And you know, what an inspiring film! What, you know, an investing one and a magical film. You know, just looking back, you know, the fondest of memories. You know, watching this last month. Really, you know, even just a week after and then 2 weeks after, I was still looking back on, you know, it happens often, you know, on this film, just the feelings I got from this, it's just one of those that, you know, it made me feel like I was back in, you know, my childhood, watching, you know, a special film. You know, there was, you know, just, you know, lights off obviously, and just seeing this magic piece of cinema. There's a narrative obviously that is based on Spielberg's life, you know, and it's really great to finally see this, hearing about different things, you know, about Spielberg over the years, and you know, his upbringing, and finally seeing it in this film directed by him. What can I say? A very, very special film. And yes, moving on, we have The Squid and the Whale. Noah Baumbach. You know, this is a really good film for me. You know, it's very invested. I guess it's a film that kind of lost me at times towards the end. You know, I didn't think it would go in that direction. But you know, overall, still very, very good film, and you know, it was just you know, a great kind of indie feel. You know, this one had, and you know, it's very nostalgic as well. Then we have South Park joining the Pandaverse. Watch this one. Yeah, it was a bit disappointing for me. I wasn't a fan really of this one. I do, you know, really, really like South Park. There's loads of references that I love. So seeing this was definitely, it was like it was worse than really any of the episodes that I've seen. So yeah, it wasn't really for me. There was some funny stuff in there, but I just think they could have took some of the gags further and developed them, and ones that they did keep doing, it was just one of those where it was just a very repeating those that weren't really that funny in the beginning. So yeah, and it was quite drawn out. But you know, big fan of South Park. Just didn't really like joining the Pandaverse. So yeah. Then we have The Bishop's Wife, Cary Grant. First time seeing this. This was a magical film at times. Just a very good film to see around the Christmas period, and yeah, not much to say. Just a very charming, you know, warm film, and quite funny in places as well. Obviously, you can't go wrong with Cary Grant. So there we have The Night Before, another Christmas film. Rewatching that. Yeah, it's an okay, you know, fine film. You know, it's definitely enjoyable and very funny at times, especially in the first half. So then we have Miracle on 34th Street. Again, absolutely stunning Christmas film. Saw this a few years ago. You know, now for the first time, and you know, rewatching this again, it was great to do. Elf. We have obviously a rewatch, and then we have White Christmas. Wasn't big on this one. To sum it up, it felt like just a boat, you know, a kind of a way to, you know, have all these songs really, and you know, Bing Crosby was very enjoyable in this, but you know, that's about it really. I wasn't a fan of this. It felt like it was made just for the songs and, you know, for the stars, and there wasn't really any film in there for me, or any narrative to latch onto. So I didn't like this one actually, which was a surprise. But so it's you know, really it was a surprise, being this classic Christmas film. But there we go. Just, you know, I can't deny that. Then we have South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Cut. Again, first time seeing this was definitely better than during the Pandaverse. Again, not one of my favourites, you know, from South Park. You know, again, loads of the episodes that I prefer, but this was good. It was enjoyable, and yeah, it was quite funny in places. Then we have The Christmas Chronicles Part 2. Seeing this sequel, you know, to the first one, wasn't as good, you know, as the first, you know, but it was, again, it was okay. You know, it's a fine film to see again around the Christmas period. Just was a bit of a slog there. Then we have Gremlins, again, these are a lot of Christmas films. Gremlins I absolutely love. Saw this many times as a kid, and the first one, is my favourite, and I just love this film so much. As a kind of a strange horror film, as a Christmas film, as a comedy, and referencing different pop culture references, of course, in there as well, and it's just a great kind of film. Watch out for the Spielberg cameo in this. It's hilarious, and it's just everyone involved. It just makes this magical film. Gizmo is one of the cutest creations of the cinema, and I love everything about this film. Really, really one of my favourite Christmas films. So yes, then we have National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Again, one of my absolute favourite Christmas films. Hilarious, and always great to see this. I watched this the last 5 or so Christmases actually. Just without fail. And, truly love this one. Chevy Chase at his best in this, from what I've seen, and it's my favourite vacation film. So there we go, National Lampoon's Vacation. Then we have Click and Collect, Stephen Merchant. In this, it's a very good film. This really nice, kind of journey we go on. Definitely the first half is better, but overall, a very nice film, and very uplifting, and very simple. Again, kind of a road trip film at times. So there we go. The Simpsons Christmas Special, the first episode of the show. Love this stuff. Really, really do. Saw this as a kid quite a few times. This one, and just really nice. More of a, instead of a more, for me, hilarious episode of The Simpsons. It's more of a a family. It's more about the Christmas feeling, and how nice this is, and the event that happens in this. I won't get into if you've not seen it, but it's just so great to see, and see the origins of this show. So yes, love this one. The Polar Express on the 20th. Again, one of my favourite Christmas films. I personally love this one. I watched this the last 5 or 6 years actually as well, for Christmas. It's just the one that when I first saw this in 2005, Christmas, it's just a magical experience, and it's actually one that's just gotten better and better as I've grown up. So there we go. Polar Express, Vortex, Gaspar Noé. I wasn't big on this one, but I do commend it. It wasn't a one that I was invested in, and it was just it wasn't really much happening to me personally, but I appreciate the premise, and just what he was trying to do, but not one of my favourites from Noé. Usually a big fan of this director, but not this one. Love Actually and Home Alone. Watching those ones, of course, classic Christmas films for me, and love watching these ones every year. Then we have The Snowman on Christmas Eve. A very famous short, especially in the UK. Absolutely love this. It's very emotional, this one, and that was before seeing the main feature of Christmas Eve. That was Die Hard, of course. What can I say? We'll leave it there. Die Hard. I've talked about this before. Wow, mind-blowing film. One of my very, very favourite. 100 films in cinema history. It is perfection for me. And then seeing The Other Guys, a very good comedy film for me. Very, very charming. Mark Wahlberg, of course, and Will Ferrell together. Is great, and it's just a really nice film to see once again. And so that was on Christmas Day, with the family, and then of course on Boxing Day, my brother got a few Blu-rays, as was me, and he did. One of the Blu-rays he got that I got him actually was Blazing Saddles. So we watched that on Boxing Day, and Mel Brooks film, and this was a very good comedy film, and one that I have a great time. Great memories of seeing this already. From last month, and some hilarious moments. Really good performances in this, and Gene Wilder. It's just he's hilarious, and I loved the elements of this. This Western parody, and it's just really a warm film, charming film, as well as a very, very funny film overall, and some hilarious moments. Not one of my favourite, absolute favourite comedies, but I do, I understand, how House is a loved film. You know, I just had a great time seeing this, and yeah, it was definitely so far the best you know, Mel Brooks film that I've seen. There's a you know, because I haven't until this point seen, you know, the classic Mel Brooks films, but I look forward to obviously Young Frankenstein, the producers, so as well. But yes, Blazing Saddles, a very nice film to see, and it was great to see this on Boxing Day. So yes, a few films left now. On the 27th, I saw once again Jumanji, of course from Williams, the original. Yeah, and this is a film that I saw you know, a few times as a kid. You know, it's not a film that I don't think I loved as a kid, but I did enjoy seeing this, and some certain elements from this I did really love. And so yes, it's just a good film, Jumanji. I do enjoy this quite a bit, and yeah, it's a very nice family film. You know, it's got some really good moments in this, and how it's kind of linking back to different times, you know, in this narrative. And yeah, I do. Yeah, Robin Williams is great in this, as always, and you know, just legendary actor, of course. You know, really, I really love Robin Williams, and it's not, I guess, one of his best films, but you know, he elevates everything he's in. You know, and he was just such a legend. You know, he really was, and yeah, it's a very nice film to see. You know, in that week between Christmas and New Year, and yes, then we have Midnight Cowboy. Again, my brother picked up some Blu-rays. The Criterion, we've watched Blu-ray of Midnight Cowboy for the first time, so I didn't know what to expect from this. It was a bit underwhelming for me, actually, personally. You know, hearing a lot about this over the years, and finally seeing this, you know, it was, you know, it was. I guess it was a good film, but just a bit too. One of the things as well, it's a bit too dark, a bit too grimy, feel at times, but really just after the first act, you know, as well, it lost my investment, you know, in a few places, and you know, just wasn't a big fan of some of the characters. John Voight, though, you know, his character was highly investing from start to finish. It's just, you know, and the use of music, obviously legendary, you know, and all this, and some of the editing, but it's just a, you know, very strange film at times, and it lost me, you know, as it went on, really, but a good film that I did enjoy watching, and some great stuff in there. So Midnight Cowboy I do praise. Then we have The Force Awakens, rewatching that, as I said I would, and yeah, again, getting to these Star Wars reviews when I can, but first of the sequel trilogy, love this film personally, and yeah, I'll be talking about that on the channel at some point. And then we have Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Talked about this, you know, on my Blu-ray update video. Wasn't huge on this, but it's a good film. Nothing more really to say there. You know, just I was very underwhelmed, as I've said before. But the final film of 2023 that I saw was a rewatch of one of the greatest things ever made, and that is, for me, Rear Window, Alfred Hitchcock. Say no more, one of the very best that he made, and you know, what an experience seeing this on New Year's Eve, finishing it around you know, 10 or before that, and then, you know, doing other things, but you know, just the main event of the night was Rear Window, and you know, wow, just perfection, you know, as a thriller, and you know, one of the warmest films, as to be expected with the greatest Hitchcock films. You know, it was just so warm and charming, just nestling in there to the film, and you know, just you know, it's one of those films that really has defined my later you know, watching. Well, actually, the last 2016 I saw this, so it's many years actually that I've known this film and loved this film. You know, in terms of my experience as a film. But yes, you know, it's one of those that every time I see it, you know, it's just, I cannot wait to see this, because I know how warm it is and how charming it is, and just how comforting it is, you know, being in the apartment with Jimmy Stewart, you know, and just, wow, one of the greatest films ever made. It's really, you know, Hitchcock, you know, at his best, really, and it's just a couple that I prefer to this, really. I think that a bit better than this, but really, Rear Window is still, it's one of the 50 greatest films ever made for me, personally. So that was the last film of the year. You know, what a way to end it. Favorite first watches, we will say November was The Pursuit of Happiness. I had to pick this one. It was definitely the best and most inspiring film that I saw in November for the first time, and you know, just Will Smith and Jaden Smith, you know, wow, both so great in this. The relationship, you know, throughout the film that they have, you know, it's just so warm to see, and just the struggle of, you know, Will Smith's character, you know, and how he just yeah, it's just very inspiring. Really, he just keeps going and going, and he just seeing that kind of that arc. Just seeing him. Really, it's just about the human spirit, and that's all I can say there. And just one of the films that kind of captures that really in a pure way, and very sincerely. And great film. Love this one. And for December, which we'll say as well, was also my favourite first watch of the entire year. So it's 2 in 1 there, and that was none other than The Fabelmans from the legendary Steven Spielberg. It couldn't have been anything else. This was the greatest film that I saw for the first time of the entire of 2023 of my film watching, and it has everything really. This one, it's inspiring. It's just it's got comedy in there. The way in which Spielberg kind of portrayed elements of childhood, and different aspects, things like bullying, kind of family struggles, and how that kind of how a child can see that, just kind of. It's stuff definitely that a lot of us can relate to, I guess, and different things like divorce, of the parents, and stuff like this, that he wanted to kind of portray in this film, and it really is just a stunning one to see. Him bring to life, really a certain portion of his life. Obviously, it's not an entire telling of his life, but yeah, it's just how he came into film, and just what's more inspiring than that, really. For a film watcher, to see Spielberg, how he, was inspired. The sense of wonder as a kid, was captured perfectly. And it's one of those, as a kid, there is that sense of wonder that's a bit different. But then again, I personally feel, I've never lost that sense of wonder when I'm watching a film. I'm always in awe of it. But it's always great to see, the origins of one's inspiration, and how as a kid, their first, for example, occurrences of being, witnessing film, and how certain films, it kind of it clicked, of course, and then it kind of led to that obsession, if you like, and that passion, and that that is just wonderfully captured. For example, with Michelle Williams as well. These performances absolutely perfect in this film. What a film this is! It's a 5-star film for me, and I personally love this one so much that it had to be my favourite of the entire year, first time watch, and easily of December. So yeah, there we have it. Pursuit of Happiness and The Fabelmans. So yes, on to 2024. Obviously, we're already into the year, and some more stuff on the channel that I have planned. Obviously, and going back to loads of things I've got, on my list of videos to do, and yes, I look forward to the rest of the year, and on this channel and elsewhere. So there we go. That's my thoughts on these films. That's what I've been watching. What did you watch recently? And what's your favourite first-time watches, or just favourite watches? Favourite stuff that you've been doing with film. And yes, it'd be great to hear your thoughts on these films, and also what you've been doing as well, your film activity over the last few months. So yes, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.